Welcome to our channel. How many opportunities do you think you've missed simply because you didn't know how to interpret a woman's signals? This isn't a guess, it's est fact. Body language, never least. But if you don't know how to read it, you'll be missing key moments that will never come back as a mature experience. It's natural for many women to feel drawn to you, but here's the thing, they're not going to be direct. Not because they don't want to be, but buckus that has never been there. Role A, woman knows how to mark your interest, sly with movements and attitudes that seem casual but are full of what. Happens if you're asleep, if she maintains eye contact and understand what she's saying without words. The result is simple. You miss out on a connection that could have changed your life. But don't worry, Baku's today. Going to fix that tie, going to reveal 9 signals based on female PSology and body language that when a woman is an interest in you, and no, these aren't the obvious signals you've heard 1,000 times before. These are the ones that truly make a difference and will help you recognize when someone is into you, even if she doesn't say, I to trite, my name is Celia. And here we talk about those subtle details that most people overlook, look but Thatch and everything. If it's your first time here, I invite you to subscribe and turn on not notifications. Stay until because these signals might open your eyes and transform you, understand relationships. Let's get started. The body always speaks. Even when we try to hide what we feel, one of most honest signs of interest is in feet. Unlike hands or the face, we didn't pay conscious attention to the myth. You're in a conversation with her, and her feet are pointed directly at you, thoughts. A subtle yet powerful signal that she mirrors your venture, focuses on you, not just physical but emotionally. To think about it, if Somione isn't interested or doesn't feel their feet, tend to turn toward the exit or in any third direction that suggests disengagement. But when her feet are aligned with you, it's because her body is consciously functioning her interest even if she's not aware of it. Imagine you're in a meeting or a public set, and while you're talking, her feet remain still facing toward you even if she turns her head or gestures with her hands. This happens because down her body language seeking connection with you. This doesn't mean you should start staring at the feet of every woman you talk to. But few notice the signal, along with other positive behaviors. You can be fairly confident that she's interested. So what should you do if you pick up on this? Use that moment to the conversation to create a more meaningful connection. You don't need to mention it or act differentist. Understand that her body language is opening a door for you. And speaking of signals that don't rely on words, let's move on to the next one. Cement key isn't in her feet, but she finds reasons to touch you. What she does with her hands almost is an unconscious reflex. Let's talk about that now. Hands are a direct reflection of what happening in the mind when a woman is interested. Her or excitement might reveal itself through subtle gestures like playing with her accessories, twisting, airing, touching and necktie, adjusting her watch or even smoothing out the hem off for clothing. These movements aren't anxious but serve as a way to release the energy stirred by the emotion she feels around you. Imagine you're talking to her and suddenly you notice she starts fiddling with her necklace, turning it between her fingers as she listens to you. She's not focused on the necklaces, rather you've caught her attention and that energy is finding a way to express itself. These gestures are often repetitive and delicate, as if she's trying to keep herself occupied to her emotions. What's fascinating is that this behavior isn't random. Psychology tells us that people tend to engage in these sick kinds of gestures when they're around Samion. They're attracted to either a unconscious form of self-soothing or a subtle way of drawing your attention. If you notice this, pay attention to how it aligns with her. The body language is she, maintaining eye contact, her tone of voice, sound warm, unengaging. These complementary, she tilts her head when listening signals can confirm that her interest is directed at you. How should you respond? The key is not to rush. Keep the conversation flowing naturally, but seize opportunity to ask her questions that build a more personal connection. Her the space to feel comfortable. If these gestures persist, it's a strong sign she enjoys being around you. Let's move on. Because if her hands can reveal her interest, her posture can make it even more obvious, especially She adjusts her natural stance to project her best self in your presence. Let's talk about that next. The bow naturally seeks to impress when Sumanik shares her interest, and one of the call of attraction is how a woman adjusts her posture around you. If she's usually relaxed or casual in her stance, but straightens her back, lifts her chins lightly, or even adjusts her clothing. Hen, she sees you. It's her body speaking before she does. Think about it. You walk into a room and see her sitting comfortably. Then as soon as she knows you, her posture subtly changes. She might fix her hair across her legs more elegantly, or shift, she plays with her horrento a position that highlights her best features. These movements aren't just acts of vanity. They're an unconscious way of projecting her best self to capture your attention. This shift isn't random. Psychology tells us that the body reacts instinctively when we're attracted to its natural way of wanting to leave a positive impression of showing interest without needing to say a word. If you notice this behavior, pay attention to evolves as you talk. Does she maintain that posture? Does she adjust her clothing or touch her hair more often than usual? These subtle gestures are her way of telling you that your presence matters to her. What should you do if you pick up on this? Respond with your own body language. Show your interiorist. Such maintain and open postures. Smile genuinely and make her feel that noticed her too. That combination of visual and physical connection will help her feel comfortable and encourage her to keep expressing her interest in speaking of expressions. Let's move on to something even more revealing. Her smile when a woman is interested, her pilopon shows up at the most unexpected even before you say something funny. Let's explore what this means. In the next point, a woman smells a powerful gesture, but there's 1 second of smile that says it, or the one that appears for no apparent reason. Be buffer. You've made a joke or said, she laughs at your joke. Say anything, particularly funny. It's the most natural way of showing that being around you brings her joy and comfort, even without a clear explanation. Imagine you're talking about something ordinary, nothing remarkable. You notice her smiling as she looks at you. It's as if simply being with you enough to light up her face. That spontaneous smile, unprompted by the situation, is a clear signal that she sent to you. This happens because in female psychology, attraction tends to manifest in the face in the most genuine ways. It's not a calculated smile, it's in reaction to how she feels around you. In fact, if she might not even realize she's doing it, if you notice this, don't overlook it. It's a silent invitation to keep connecting, to maintain the conversation, and to build on the spark that's already there. How should your spont return it? With a sincere, warm smile. That shared moment of visual and emotional connection reinforces mutual interest and lets her know her gesture. She points her feet toward you. Go unnoticed, but smiles aren't the only way to tell if she's interested. Sometimes the most revealing stirs are in how she subtly seeks to closer to you, even imperceptible ways. And the next point will explore how her body works to close the distance between you without seeming intentional. Let's keep going. If you Rio in this video so far and starting to notice the subtle signals that may have slipped past you before, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button to support this content. Stay with me until the end, because the most surprising and revealing signals are yet to come. For those who truly want to learn how to prot what a woman's body language is trying to say, I have a final reflection that could completely change your way you understand these interactions, and tell me which country are you listening from. I'd love to know. Continue. A woman's interest isn't how ways always expressed in words, but through subtle movements that seem casual, you yet have a clear purpose to closer to you. If you notice that without any obvious reasons, she adjusts your position to get near, mirror, or takes every chance to close, the distancy array witnessing a powerful sign of attraction. For example, you're talking in a group and without you realizing it tried away, she shifts slightly toward a side, or maybe you're sitting at positions, her arm or booty to align more closely, with which she blushes around yours. It's not abrupt or overly obvious. It's a natural movement driven by her body's desire to connect with youth. This behavior has a psychological bysister. We're drawn to someone. Our instinct is to want to be closer, to share this personal space. It's a way all feeling connected without crossing the physic-io boundary yet, but still making her interest clear. How can you confirm if this is a real signal? Pay attention whether she does this only with you. If you notice she doesn't display same closeness with others, it's a strong indices on your should you do. If you pick up on this, don't pull away or act uncomfortable. Let the closeness respond with a relaxed and openerant. If you feel confident, mirror her gesture with a small movement toward, where this not only strengthens the but also signals that you're to her interest. Now let's move forward. When a woman's interest is genuine, it's not just reflected in her physical proximity, but also in how she mirrors your gestures as if the two of you are perfectly in sync. Let's explore that connection. In the next point, when a woman is interested, her body language starts to as in with yours almost does. If you're both engaged in an unplanned dance, this is known a subconscious mirroring, or the mirror she leans in when talking G. And it's one of the most fascinating signs of attraction. Without if I'm realizing it, she begins to mice your movements, posture, or even your tone of voice, as her body instinctively. Sixto connect with you. Picture this cross your arms while talking, and a few seconds later you notice she does thesism. Or maybe you take a sip of your drink, and suddenly she does too. Even thou her glass had been sink and touched. These subtle gestures, errant coincidences, they're a reflection of Herman being in sync with yours and a sign that she feels comfortable in your present. Psychology teaches us that mirroring is a way to build connecting, communicate and thirst. It's as if her body is saying gym with you. I understand you. I'm interested in what you're doing. This phenomenon happens unconsciously, making it a genuine and to fake signal. If you noticed her mirroring you, use it as an opportunity to deepen the connection keep the conversation flowing and observe how her gestures continue to line with yours. But don't make it too obvious. You don't need to point it out or abruptly change your movements totist. It's simply enjoy the moment and left. Natural synchron work. It's magic. And speaking of synchrony, there's nothing else that shifts. When a woman is interested, her tone of voice is subtle but incredibly telling, and we'll explore it in the next point. Let's continue. When a woman is interested in Simeon, her tone of voice transforms in ways that are almost imperceptible but deeply meaningful. It may become softer, warmer, or even slower when she speaks to you. This change isn't something she consciously does. It's a reflection of she feels in your presence and her desire to create a more personal connection with you. Imagine you're in a group setting and while speaking to others, her tone remains neutral and direct. But when she addresses Yahoo, voice takes on a different quality, as if she wants to make the moment more intimate, even in a crowded room. It's a subtle detail, but it carries a lot of weight. Psychology explains that the shapen because emotions directly influence the way we communicated, her body and mind work to convey closeness, and her tone of voice is one of the subtle tools she uses to do so. If you notice her tone shifts when she speaks to you, take it as an invitation to deepen conversation. Respond in a calm and attentive manner, matching her warmth in your own tone. This helps create an atmosphere of mutual trust and the spark that's already there. But it's not just about how she speaks to you, it's also about what chooses to share. When a woman is interested, she begins to reveal more personal details, building a unique bond. And the next point will explore how these confessions can be a clear sight that she likes you. Let's continue. When a woman is interested in someone, she tends to share something deeper than the surface level conversations. It might be a personal detail, a profound thought, or a story she won't typically share in casual settings. This isn't something she does with just anyone, and if she shares it with you, it's because she's looking to create a closer and more meaningful connection. Imagine you're having a relaxed conversation and suddenly something like hardly anyone knows this, but I've always wanted to learn how to play the piano, or this place reminds me of a difficult time in me life. These moments don't just happen. Be chance, they are a sign that she trusts you and wants to open a small window. Here, World Female Psychology tells us that sharing personal information is a way to build emotional intimacy. When a woman speaks about something she usually keeps to, it's because she wants you to see beyond the obvious and connect with her on a deeper level. How can you make most of this moment? Listen carefully. Questions that show genuine interest and keep the conversation flowing naturally. If she feels that your respect and value what she's sharing, her trust will grow, strengthening the bond between you. Here's something else. Shouldn't overlook if she finds Risanto extend the time she spends with Yuvan when it's time to part ways. Another clear sign that she enjoys your company more than she's willing to admit. Let's explore this final sign. In next point, let's continue. When a woman likes you, goodbyes become more just a simple see you later. Even in shortest encounters, she'll find way to extend the conversation. Add an extra ment or ask a question that keeps the imagine you're wrapping up a conversation, and just as it seems time ways she says something like, "Oh, by the way, what do you think about," or "Before you go, I have to tell you something." She's not doing this because she doesn't remembered something urgent. It's her way of making sure the memento hasn't ended too quickly. This happens because in female psychology, the diretto prolong an interaction is a clear sign of interest. When a woman enjoys buying with you, any goodbye feels too soon, and she looks for small excuses to stay in your company just a bit longer. If you notice this, don't rush. Third, respond naturally and use the opportunity to deepen the connection, and these moments are perfect for building closeness because they show that both of you are enjoying the time together. Something key to remember: actional ways speak louder than words. If Chef finds ways to linger even in, it's because there's a method about you that makes her want to stay with these 9 signals. You know, a clear guide to understand what a woman might be, telling you through heritage language and actions even if shadows say it outright. Because women rarely express their interest with obvious words, instead they communicate with gestures meant for those who know how to read them. If you've noticed some of these signals in Sammy and Special Pay attention, you might be standing in front of an opportunity you hadn't seen before. And remember, the most important thing is to respond with confidence and authenticity. That's what truly creates a genuine connection. My name is Celia Andy. Want this space to be a refuge where Rue can discuss eye-opening topics with respect and wisdom. Here we go beyond the obvious, exploring the gestures, words, and subtle details that often go unnoticed but have the power to transform the way we experience our relationships together. Let's discover to better understand others and improve the quality of our lives, just emotionally but in every aspect. Because in the end, every small act of awareness and every moment spent reflecting on our connections brings us closer to a more authentic and fulfilling life. If this is your first time on the channel, I invite you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. What's coming is packed with insights that will surprise you and help you interpret the nuances of female that you might have overlooked until now. If you've made it this far, congratulations. This means you are committed to your personal growth and to understanding others. Better to see who's truly connected with this message until the end. Comment the phrase "I love." Let me know where you're listening from. Love to hear from those who are sharing this journey of discovery with them. See you in the next video where we'll continue exploring the keys to relationships and emotional well-being.